Hey folks, it's time for another TWiP Pro Photo Critique. This is session number 43. This is TWiP. All right, welcome back. It's time to dive into some of the latest submissions to the TWiP Pro Photo Critique topic within the TWiP Pro community. I'm joined by my good friend and partner in nitpicking crime, Mr. Troy Miller, to step through some of the latest entries. Troy Miller, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's beanie weather, so I'm super excited.
I noticed that. You got the dome covered up. What's happening?
That's right. Everybody else who has hair, I have a beanie.
That's cool. I gotta start doing that. I gotta start, it's gotta rock that look. The beanie and the glasses are kind of your iconic look,
Yes.
Yeah. Don't let anybody steal that from you. That's your thing. You should make like a little lithograph icon of just that. And rubber stamp it everywhere. That's cool. Did you have a chance to look in the community? There's a ton of entries this time.
Yeah, they're great. I tried to go through them a little bit earlier so I could kind of pre-form some thoughts. And it just makes me excited to get out and shoot because I get to go to Zion this weekend.
Oh, cool.
And there's supposed to be snow.
Oh, wow.
So I'm even more excited because, some of you get snow regularly, but I never see snow. So I'm looking forward to that. That's awesome.
People around the country are like, are you kidding, man? You have to travel to go see snow and you're excited about it.
I know. Yeah. My cousins were just out here from Indiana and we'll be sitting outside. They'd be like, you know what? It's like -5 and snowing at home.
Yeah.
And we're in shorts in the backyard.
Hey, location.
Right.
All right. Let's dive in. We've got a lot to go through, so let's just dive right in and get into this. So I'm sharing the TWiP Pro Photo Critique topic now. It looks like the first one up is going to be Mark Harris. Mark says, I lost track of the day this holiday weekend. I hope this makes it to the 1126. Hey, you made it to the photo critique.
Pulled a Levshin.
Yeah, you made it. It says, this is cat by window light shot with his Nikon D850 with his ICE 85mm f1.4. The lens is 85mm f1.4. He shot it at 5.6 at 1/250th of a second at ISO 6400 with window light. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, I like window light.
Yeah, window light's awesome. It is really cool to what you can do with just a big bank of glass, and the sun streaming through, and just having fun with your camera doing shots like this. And if you have a willing model, then you can have fun for hours, right?
Oh, I know. No, this is really great. I dig the pose and the pensive look on her face. I really like that. For me, a couple things that I would suggest is crop just above her elbow. You'll still keep the curve of her arm and her breast and everything will stay in there, her back, but I don't think that that's adding anything. And then some dodging and burning could be really helpful on this. Get the brightness on her back down, and that way we can see her face.
Yeah. What about the curtains down the left side or the object like right? Yeah, I think those are curtains, right? Down by her back. Do those bother you at all, or is it distracting?
No, those don't bother me so much. I think what does bother me, and as I see this image, like if I were to see it through the camera, I would want to step a little bit to the right so that black line, and so her face would be isolated against the wall as opposed to split between that window. But no, the left edge doesn't bother me. I think it adds a different element. I mean, you could certainly soften it if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But really just dodging and burning on this image, that can have such a powerful impact.
Yeah, you know what? When I was looking at this image, when people that know how to shoot nudes, they come out like this, right? Because it's hard to put your finger on it, but it feels like the fact that it is a nude is secondary to the emotion and the model and just the pose and all that. Yeah, of course, this model is topless, but that is not the purpose of the shot. To say, hey, look, I'm topless. It is more of it's sort of a moody shot, and it's a beautiful woman and in a striking pose. I think these are some of the most effective sort of nude shots that are out there versus the more over the top and obvious shots. Do you agree with that?
No, I do. I think that it's beautiful because it shows off the female form, which is fantastic and it's beautiful.
Hmm.
But it really comes down to doesn't matter what you're photographing. It's the quality of light that you're illuminating that object with. It could
Yeah.
be a can of soda, or it could be a car, or a mountain, or a model, right? So make sure that light lands where you want it to land, dodge and burn, to affect that, and that'll tell a much more powerful story.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree. This makes me want to shoot some available light shots.
Yeah.
This is really cool. Cool. All right.
Yeah, I love available light. That's my thing. That's what I do.
You know what they say, I'm an available light photographer. I will shoot with any light that I have available.
That's good.
Here's Mark Harris. Thank you, sir, for that submission. That was awesome. All right, Mike Doren is in the house. He said he spent a few hours with his niece Mariah last night creating long exposures. That's so fun. And this image is one of them. He uses his 1DX, a Canon at 16 with a Canon 1635, 2.8 ISO 400 at f5.6. 30 seconds for this shot. All right, let's take a look at this one. 30 seconds and the stars barely moved. Look at that.
Yeah, they moved. They moved a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that leading line of the fence. I like that. I think this would look really cool if it was flipped horizontally. So the fence line was on the left.
Mm. Why do you say that? Just because we read from left to right and our eyes travel in that direction?
Yeah, so I feel like the way it is right now, it feels like the fence is leading out of the frame, so it draws your eyes out. But if we were to flip it horizontally, I think it would draw your eye in. It's good too because I'm assuming that's the moon is in the center, so it's not really going to affect that too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the direction of the leading lines. Now you could argue that the streak from the cars are doing that, but I mean I don't know. I'd have to see it to decide for me. I always flip stuff. That's what I do. I always flip it to see, okay, which way does this tell the best story?
Yeah. If there's nothing in there, that'll give it away, right? Like words or...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Then you take those out.
You take them out, right? Or flip them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So any tips on like photographers that want to try this technique? Obviously, you need a tripod, right? Or some sort of rock solid stabilization for your camera. But any tips from you on how to effectively shoot long exposure photography?
Long exposure challenging because it's usually dark. Mm-hmm. So the focus is often very, very difficult. So decide what your subject is. And then you might have to light it with a flashlight, make sure that you get that critical focus, think about your depth of field, and then do a couple test shots. Like this one, I think would have been great for star trails. Like do multiple shots and then stack them to create a little streak. It doesn't have to be a lot, but that would have been cool that the car was streaking and then the stars were streaking.
Yeah, because the stars were streaking an arc, right? So
they would, yeah. But this is one of those things where you have to go out, throw yourself into an environment, and just shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But try to be aware of the environment that you're in so you get good composition. Oftentimes you can't see the tops of trees or the ends of things, and you want to make sure that you get your composition right in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I was out with a photographer that was Tracy. She was doing sort of astrophotography down in Puerto Rico when I was down there. And one of the things that stuck in my mind about her process was, when you're doing sort of astrophotography, it's long exposure or even HDR, right? Because you're shooting multiple shots and then bringing them together to get the detail that you want. And then in some cases masking in, like you're talking about, foreground elements or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what struck me about her process is the amount of planning that went into it. And it kind of harmonizes with what you're talking about how you got to make sure you pay attention to the tops of trees and all that. And when she goes out there, she goes out there sometimes days or weeks in advance, and she's got the photographer's ephemeris app, and she's looking at where the sun will be and where the moon will be and the position of the Milky Way and all these things at a given day where she's going to be there to shoot. So she gets there armed with data to get the shot, and I guess maximizing her chances for success. So yeah, so it makes sense to do a lot of planning for these kinds of shots. But like Mike was saying, he's out there just shooting around and having fun with his niece. So that was yeah. So not a whole lot of time to do some pre-planning on this. So, But very cool, very cool. Inspiring to do long exposures and what you can do. I'm doing a talk. I mentioned in a previous show, I'm doing a talk this Thursday. Thursday or Friday? Friday at Pixel Connection in Avon, Ohio. And the talk is on this kind of stuff where you're bending space and time in your camera, freezing elements, using long exposures to stretch elements out or whatever, just showing that your camera is kind of ostensibly a time machine if you want it to be. So.
Right. Something to consider when you're doing shots like this is that normally when you're out photographing and it's like 1/250th of a second or 1/500th of a second, you're going click and you're moving around, you can put a lot of frames down. Mm-hmm. When you're out doing long exposures or focus stacking or star trails, one image might take you 10 minutes to set up. So in an hour, you took 6 images. So you really want to be extra thoughtful.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you come back and you're like, what the heck? I got 6 images, one's in focus, and I don't like it. Yeah, exactly.
Or like Eric Luna. Eric Luna came on. He's one of the head muckety mucks over at Kelby. And he does rocket photography. So rocket launch photography of like SpaceX doing their thing. And he said the same thing. Planning, weeks in advance sometimes to get out there to see where the sun's going to be, the light, whatever. And multiple exposures, if he wants to do like a star trail with a rocket shooting up in front of him, he's ready to do all that stuff and has his sort of mind toolkit set to go before he even presses the shutter, which is sometimes automated too, because you can't be close to the ground zero out there.
Right.
So fun stuff. All right. Thank you, Mike Doren, for this shot. All right, Craig Stampley in the house. He says, "What's up? Snapper rocks, Coolangatta, NSW." I don't know what NSW means. 360 millimeter, 1/25th of a second, f13 ISO 100. Let's bring this guy up. Oh yeah, look at that.
That's really awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah, the guy in the foreground is sharp. The guy in the other guy is motion blurred, obviously. The background is severely motion blurred, and that water. But the waves on that guy in the foreground and his board and everything is tack sharp. That's interesting how you did that. Yeah, what do you think of this shot?
No, that's difficult. That takes some time. Not to not love this image, but I'm just thinking this would be so amazing if those surfers weren't in it. Right? Like
he's done that before. We had a shot like that before of him, where he did a similar technique.
Yeah, but not with the skyline in there like that.
Yeah,
not with the buildings, which is normally you're like, I don't want to put the buildings in, but I love this image, how it's lit. I love the fact that the guy on the board is sharp and the other guy in the back is not. He's probably moving at a different rate, so the timing and the panning is working really well. But I'm thinking, man, what a cool landscape this would be to show that foreground, the abstract, the movement, a little bit of blur in the background like that. Mm-hmm. Could be really cool.
Yeah. This is one of the few times I've heard Troy Miller say, "Take people out of a shot," Mr. Wedding and Portrait Photographer.
I take people out all the time. It's just not my clients.
That's awesome. Oh, that's cool. I love it. I love this shot, Craig. Thank you for submitting this. This is really cool. Really cool. Have you ever been surfing? You know how to surf?
No, I don't like the water.
Come on, that's a myth. Well, what's this whole stereotype of Southern California people all knowing how to surf and saying "bro" after every word? Come on.
No. When I was younger, I got pounded into the sand a few times and went, "Yep, that's not what I'm going to do."
Not for me.
I got on a dirt bike and went, "This is for me."
There you go. All right, here's one from Armando Bruck. And he says this was took from the taxi in his first visit to India in January 2011. He was in Mumbai, and everything he saw was different from him. This barber was working in the middle of the street, is what he's saying. And he also saw a dentist and an ear cleaner. Wow. Look at that. Free healthcare. Look at that. Or low-cost healthcare. We don't have that here. So there we go.
No. Wow. What a great photojournalistic shot. This is really nice. I wish it was a little bit sharper, but I realized this was shot, quite some time ago with a 50D. So that's just us, with modern tech looking at things that were done, back then. But Great timing. I mean, this is perfect. If the scissors or hands had intersected in any way, I think that would have broken the moment. I think I love the space and the pause between. I If you want it to be a photojournalistic shot, then obviously you leave it alone. If it's going to be something like a portrait type of thing, I would just clean up that black spot on the wall on the right and some of that stuff above the gentleman's head on the right.
Yeah, it looks like there's a mirror or something above his head in that line. Yeah, I agree. I would have taken that out. I was going to ask you, look at the customer, the client on the left. There seems to be like a white halo around his face. Do you see that?
Yeah, it looks like either the clarity or the dehaze was used a little bit heavy or something like that, and possibly just some dodging was a bit heavy, because I can see it on like the back of his shirt on the left hand side. There's a little tiny halo there. Those things become huge telltale signs, and in competition, if the judge see those, you'll be knocked out almost immediately.
Yeah, because you like we say, retouching or photo processing is be like burglary, right? Or plastic surgery. If someone knows you've been there, then you failed, right?
Yeah, you got caught. Yeah,
plastic surgery especially, right?
And it's easy to miss. It really. A lot of times you're editing on a smaller screen, or you're not really looking for those things. Your eyes are looking at other stuff, and it's your image. So you're really sort of, enamored with it, or you don't see the little things like that. So especially images for competitions or really, really big prints, just have somebody else with a good eye have a look at them, because they will always find stuff. Yeah.
It's just like when you're writing and you write and you ever done that? And how could I miss that? I wrote the and I haven't seen it. The same with photo editing. Your eye just doesn't want to see certain things, and you overlook it. So it's good to have a second set of eyes on there.
It is, and I know Peter's thinking this right now because he's listening, but him and we do a business together where we do high-end fine art acrylic prints that we've curated from other artists. And we were doing sample prints, and we were putting them in his office, and I ordered a giant black and white acrylic, like a 40-inch or 50-inch acrylic of some seaweed that I did. And it's hanging up on the wall, and we're all proud of it. And my friend walks over and goes, "What's that?" And there's a piece of trash in it.
I think I saw that. Is that shot hanging in Peter's office right now still?
Yes.
I saw that.
And he probably pointed out the trash. Yeah.
You got to leave it in there now because it's got a story. You got to leave it.
But I mean, as professional as I might pretend to be, and as much time as you spend looking at your work, it really does help to have somebody else look at your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can, right? If you can.
If you can. Yeah.
You can't do that all the way, always. Cool. Sao Paulo. I want to go there. Brazil. It's on my list. Armando, if I get to Brazil, man, we gotta hang out and have a coffee. All right. Thomas Aaron. Elk with broken antler, Rocky Mountain National Park during the rutting season. Yeah, it's always that season in California. 5D Mark III, no post-processing except for cropping. And he says it felt like it came out right. Cool. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's really nice.
That looks, nice. That looks, when I saw this looks almost like it's in a museum, right? It looks like a taxidermied elk,
Now that's sad. So that means that's how you see your wildlife is in a museum.
You know what? This is how I grew up, in museums. So I did not grow up having the benefit of Rocky Mountain National Park in my backyard. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I've only seen them in museums.
Yeah.
Or at long distances. No, this is really great. I really like it. I think that I'm looking around and it's nice and sharp, and I struggle with the composition just a little bit. Maybe a little space off on the left. This is a hard one. So this is one of those kind of images that I would crop and I would play with, and I would go back to it and I would look at it, because you've got elements leaving the frame and you've got busy elements and Yeah.
I'm not. It doesn't concern me too much that the animal's body isn't in the frame. That antler, though, especially since you drew attention to the fact that this animal has a broken antler, but the one that's not broken is cut off. And so I'd want to see that. But again, like you say, what does that do to the overall composition? We don't know what's around this guy. So there may be a car just off the frame at the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was cropping out.
Yeah. And, it's great that it's right out of camera. I think that for me, I think 99.9% of my work that comes out of the camera needs a little bit because dodging and burning could make a huge difference in this image. And it's minor.
That's a good point, though, because, some people hang their hat on, there was no processing done to this image and it's straight out of camera, a la film, that kind of feel. Is there merit in that, do you think, or are we just sort of, when people do that, are they placing unnecessary constraints on themselves for pushing the image to being all it could be?
My perspective's a little bit different because your image was edited, whether you think it was or not. Because some engineer at the camera manufacturer sat down and decided this is how we're gonna present these pixels to you. So if you were to actually see this image totally raw, like if it was on a negative, you would not like it.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
this has been processed. It's the contrast and the color balance and the tone and it's all been processed for you. So it's great that you got it in camera, but everything's processed. Everything, unless you shot it on film.
Right. Yeah, and even then, I've had discussions with the photographers when I was working at Adobe about this topic. Film versus digital and post processing versus no processing. And we were, I won't go into the whole hour-long dinner conversation, but the gist was everything is processed. Just like you say, with this, there's processors in the camera. There's also processors that are rendering this image to us right now, in the best way that it thinks we should see it. And then even on the film side, yeah, you could take a picture, but you're making decisions on lighting. You're making decisions on emulsions of the film. You're making decisions on the lens that you're going to capture this image with. And, there's all kinds of decisions go into it. So the net of that conversation came out to be that there is no, just capture the image. There's no, you're chasing the horizon if you're trying to capture reality, because even if you capture something that is very close to reality, everyone has different rods and cones in their eyes and different retinas and different lenses. So everyone's going to see everything differently. So,
yeah. Oh, this is a whole episode, because then you could get into like painters, which are sort of considered the high end of image creation, right? Like they put every dot of color on the canvas. So yeah. That's a rat hole.
It is a rat hole. That's a show. That's what that is. That is a show.
Good. Make a note.
It's already noted.
I know you did.
I roll. All right, Thomas Aaron, thank you for that shot. All right, moving on. James Glennie's in the house. James Glennie has a shot, and he says, winter camping. Some friends and I went camping this weekend and rented a 16-35 millimeter lens to play around with and enjoyed it. This was a 6D 1635 f2.8 10-second exposure at ISO 1600, and just for the heck of it, in -4 degrees Celsius weather. Wow! Oh, look at that shot! That is crazy.
That is amazing.
That is ridiculous. I love that shot. God, look at the guy. Is his beard red, or is it just red because of the flames? Yeah.
No, this is really good. The more I look at this, the more that I really like this. I mean,
I knew you were going to like it, Mr. Pyro.
Yeah. I've done similar things. So I like how it feels like a lot of the sparks and the trails are coming at the camera too. So it's not like they're just going away. And they're crossing over his body, and that flare from the fire and everything. That's really amazing. I do want to add, though, and there's a couple images in this critique that are like this, is that, you take the time to set this up, you put it on a tripod, you're doing all of this, and you didn't include his feet. And it wouldn't have been, it's like it's the rest of the human, There's no reason to crop off his feet.
It doesn't bother me. In fact, I didn't even notice that his feet weren't there until you said that. So
see, now that is my biggest nitpick is include the feet. They're right there. They're barely gone.
You just hate having body parts cut off in general, right? Which is why, you know,
Maybe.
that's why Tim always, you know, gets you with his submissions. So, no.
Yeah. But this is great.
Yeah. Another in the long, did we do a long exposure theme or something? Like, what's happening here?
I don't know.
I like it. Cool. Very cool shot.
Amazing.
Makes me want to try that. All right. Thank you, James Glennie, for that shot. All right. Joe Jordan's in the house. Joe Jordan says, my photography journey began during a trip to Disneyland a couple of years ago. Hey, I'm going to Disneyland in a couple weeks. With so many wonderful sights, I enjoyed pointing and clicking with my phone. Yes. I returned to Disneyland Paris recently and was quite excited to see how I had grown in the 2 years since. This is one such photo. Yep. Photographs, the bookmarks of our minds, right?
Yeah. This is great. This is such a good fairy tale.
Look at those.
types.
Look at the landscaping on those trees in front of the castle there on the left.
Yeah, I love the composition. I would trim off the left right up to that open space. So we keep just the square Dr. Seuss trees and then the building. You know, I don't think we need anything to the left. Almost like if you were just to crop off where the end of the watermark is, right in there somewhere.
Or where get rid of those power lines, you mean? So crop off right at the edge of the power lines?
Yeah, and it would probably get rid of that little cloning smudge that's going on right there above that tree, right above the power lines in that gap.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what a great shot.
I dig this. Yeah. It's interesting that he said that about, you know, sort of iPhone level photography. And I just got back from Vegas yesterday, Las Vegas, Nevada, for those that don't know, that aren't in the US. And this was the first trip ever, Troy Miller, that I can recall that I did not take a quote proper camera with me. All I did was I took my iPhone, you know, the big iPhone, the SX Max, and that was it. And I just braved it, and I got some pretty damn good shots.
It hurts my heart, man. It hurts my heart. And you got some of those amazing Panasonics floating around, little nice little cameras.
I do. They don't weigh anything, but well, this was for my birthday, right? So I didn't want to make it about photography, so I made the conscious decision to not overload myself with gear. Went to the Grand Canyon. I was going to bring my drone, but as you know, it is illegal to bring a drone to the Grand Canyon. So I left it and, you know, ended up just bringing the phone. And I'm really happy with, you know, the time I had. I think I had a better time than had I brought a bunch of gear and tripods to do long exposures and all that. Cause it wasn't that kind of trip. So yeah, it was fun. So
very cool.
I'm on the fence about how I'm going to handle Disneyland now. So we'll see about that. Cause I've never been to Disneyland. Have you been to Disneyland?
Yeah, a long time ago, and I'll never go back.
Really?
I can't handle it. No, we have, you know, Disney in Anaheim, so I go sit in downtown Disney, which is just the walk up to Disney, and there's bars and restaurants. I just sit there all day. I'm not going in.
Hey, I have to. I have a little girl. This is her first time there. It'll be my first time there. We're both little kids, so we'll.
Yeah, that'll be good. You got to go once, and then don't ever go again.
Yeah, I know. There you go. All right, next one is from Michael Rhino. He says, here's a photo of the Denver skyline just before sunrise with reflections on Sloan's Lake. I was hoping to include the clouds in the scene, however, they were off to the right. This was this Nikon D750 with a Tamron 7200 at 170 millimeter. The f-stop is f9 at 1.6 seconds, ISO 125. That is beautiful.
Yeah, that's really wonderful.
Like these kind of shots, you know, I like if you were to like make a different sort of interpretation of the shot and crop off or invert it, you know, as you like to rotate things, right? Invert the shot and crop off the real buildings on the bottom and to make the reflections the subject of the shot. That'd be killer. That would be killer. I love this shot. This is really cool.
Yeah, I do too. I really don't have a whole lot to add to this other than maybe cropping the top a little bit. I feel like, you know, the story is the buildings and then the reflection. And, you know, maybe you left that in there because you like the blue sky, but I would crop it off not too far above the buildings, and then make it more about the reflection, because I think that's really where the amazingness is. But that's just total preference. That's not a technical issue at all. And I like that the lines are vertical and horizontal, and it's very well handled.
Would you add clouds to this shot, Troy Miller?
I might.
You'd make an attempt at it?
Of course I would.
That's cool. Yeah, I think adding clouds to a shot like this is not cheating, is it? It's okay to do that for this kind of shot. I don't know. I'm on the fence about that, because you could add clouds to them, obviously, and no one would ever know, right? But yeah, and you could even add a reflection of the clouds in the water down below to completely sell it. But, it's not what was there. So, but does it matter if you're just going to evoke a certain mood? I don't know.
No, it doesn't matter. No. Cool. No, great skyline shot. Those are cool.
Yep. Very good, Michael Rhino. All right. We are moving right along. Almost there. Next one is from Mike Doren. He says, everyone ready for the Christmas season? In regards to the images I found dust and I needed to remove before Frederick and Troy did their critiques. I created this with my trusty Canon 1DX 16-35 f2.8 at ISO 400 f16, 15.5 seconds on a Enduro tripod with a Kirk ball head. All right, Mike Doran's all over the place, man. He's like motorsports, landscapes, long exposures. Yeah, give me your thoughts on this one, man. What do you think?
I would take I love the orange line in the foreground and that whole curve, and then how it S curves down on the coastline. I think that's fantastic. I would probably pull out some of the sky. I don't think we need all that up there, and then that would help get rid of some of those dust spots that are there. And I can see the cloning, so maybe we need to do a little watch me work on like cloning and complicated textures and stuff, because it's really hard.
Yeah.
It can be messy. Yeah, it can be tough. Adobe is brilliant. The Photoshop is brilliant, but it's not smart enough to get all those textures sometimes. So, but I think you could crop the sky out and just keep in the shoreline.
Yeah. I'm looking at. Does it feel a little soft, or is it just me, or is it just because it was a 1DX?
Well, it shouldn't be soft if it's a 1DX. It may just be, a long exposure that maybe got bumped a little bit, or maybe the way it's processed.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell on here too, because it gets compressed on the web. So.
It does, yeah. And just FYI, folks that are watching and listening, for some reason, I have an email or a message into Mighty Networks asking about what magic they're doing, and by magic I mean what weight sledgehammer they're using to compress images. Right,
yeah.
Because they do some heavy-handed processing inside of TWiP Pro, so just keep that in mind. And I'm trying to get them to dial that back a little bit as we move forward. All right. Thank you, Mike Doren. Moving right along. Next shot is from Craig Stampley. One of the shots of Riley in the fairy pools of Noosa. That sounds the fairy pools of Noosa. That sounds like a made up sort of Lord of the Rings realm or something.
Yeah. After you go through the wardrobe and enter Narnia.
Exactly. Yeah, this is cool. I like what he's doing. I know you're going to say something about being split in the middle, but I like, maybe not, but I like what he's doing here with the distorted body underneath the water and everything sharp above the water. I hate the fact that we have to X out nipples in order for it to be acceptable. It's so stupid. But thank you for doing that, Craig Stampley, so that we can maintain not having an explicit tag on YouTube.
Right. No, that's really wonderful. No, you know what? I dig this being split. This is one of those times where I think it works really well having it split right where it's at. I struggle with that really bright spot, in between the rocks, and I wish that wasn't so bright. And I would even say to Craig, find another sky, do what you can do to get some detail in there, because for me, this is one of those sort of portfolio type images that I think you want to work, and it looks like he tried to pull that sky down, And obviously, you know, those contrasts are pretty dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see those things in camera, I always bracket because I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to add this guy later. And the only other thought that I have is, and maybe it's just an illusion, but dead center right under the water, it looks like a ghost of the model, right? Like it look like there's legs in there? Like
dead center
underneath the surface line of the water, just to the right of her, what would be her left leg. It looks like like the rocks or maybe whatever's in there.
Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah,
it looks like feet.
Yeah. You got to look for that though. Yeah,
Well,
that's your war shark test there.
I'm nitpicking.
Yeah. Well, that's your job. You're the nitpicker. You got the nitpicker hat on today, so it's sort of accentuated a little bit. No, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I like the fact that it's split in half. I think that adds interest to it, and that's part of the story that Craig was trying to tell. I agree with we always say on the show that your eye is going to go to the brightest area in the image. So it would definitely, in my opinion, improve this if he was to, like you said, snap a couple different shots and then put some clouds back in the space between the two rock formations back there, so that your eye doesn't think that it needs to go over there to look for detail. It could just go directly to the model and focus on her.
Right. And I think this image is worth spending the time on. I think it's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Very good work. All right, moving right along here. All right, next shot is from Joshua Sommerfeld. This guy, Karl Brunson, has been playing his keyboard at the Coastal Carolina Fair as far back as I can remember. So cool to photograph him. A shot with a Canon EOS 77D with a Kelda. Never heard of that. Kelda 135 millimeter f2.8 at 135 f2.8 1/640th of a second. ISO 200. Photojournalistic street photography right there, right?
Yeah. These are fun. These are really cool.
Yeah.
I love the expression. I wish we could have some eye contact or something with him. I know that that's hard to do. Mm-hmm. But this is great too, because this is him in his environment, him playing. Mm-hmm. I think that the exposure needs to be favored to his face.
I agree.
Let the background go. It's photojournalism. That's fine. Maybe it's not the most ideal if you want to get nitpicky about it, but it's really about this guy's face. So let's just bring his face up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because dark skin against a bright background creates that silhouette effect. So yeah, just target him, bring him up just a little.
Yeah, and you could crop off the left side, just past the, just crop out the CD book or whatever that is over there.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd clean that up a little bit. But I love that. I think that's just great. I love those storytelling images like that you look back on and think, man, I want to go back there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like I said, bookmarks for the memory. Photographs. Yep. All right. Very cool. Joshua, thank you, and welcome to TWiP, man. All right, moving right along here. So many good images. Wes Jordan Jr. says, I'm in love with her expression in this photo. What do you guys think? Let's bring her up. Yeah, that's happy. I'm going to leave this one to you. This is a Troy Miller. This is right up your alley. I can see you, I'm sure you'll have more to say about this than I do, so go for it.
No, I mean, first and foremost, this is such an amazing capture, amazing timing. Her expression, having fun. I love that. I think that's great. The reason that we nitpick is so that when we're out there shooting, we think of these things before we push the button. Mm-hmm. So, there's more of her body, and it could have been included. Mm-hmm. And I think that to me, that tells a much better story. As I really like to keep all the appendages in there or crop them out intentionally. Mm-hmm. So this one feels like the crop is odd. Now, yes, the fact that she has a great expression, very sellable image, she'll be super happy. Even put it in your portfolio. That's fine. This is a great image.
If you were to submit this to competition, the judges would look at the cropping and say, "Hey, you cut off her leg."
Yeah. There's a lot of cropping. Yeah, a lot of cropping things in here that is not going to do well in competition. Mm-hmm. that's a completely different perspective of an image, right? Is competition versus, what do my clients think and what will my peers think?
Yeah.
So this is an amazing image, and I would love this to be, one of my shots. I can see what looks like a little bit of dodging and burning, like dodging going on, like what would be right on his back and just above her dress. Mm-hmm. There's looks like a halo in there.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Joey, what do you think about, just real quick, about the way that we shoot, or that photographers, if they take this image, for example, when a photographer goes out there, or when you go out there and you're creating images of a couple, are you shooting? Obviously, you're shooting because you're creating a product that you're going to be compensated for. So you're shooting for the client. But in the back of your mind, do you have the competition and the panel of judges in there making comments on your shoulder and saying, no, you don't want to do that?
I do, and that's the cool thing. So if I walked out there, and obviously, you took this couple out there, you wanted to shoot into the sun, you picked the gear, you did all of that, and you instigated this. My brain says immediately, like, well, okay, I don't want to shoot into the silos because that's going to create distraction. Oh, I want to see the whole body. So what do I need to move? Like, I would be laying on the ground, mm-hmm. and I wouldn't have them dip as far. And I would have them isolated against the sky with the silos off to the side. Okay. Now, I would be thinking all that before I got there, because I know that if I have all these distracting elements, the judges are going to tear me up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, some people may be thinking, well, we're not shooting for the judges, and I get that, but that's a valid critique, right? It's a valid suggestion to think like, ooh, I could make this better, because if I try to clean up the image, improve the competition when I take the photo. Yeah. Now this could have been completely spontaneous, and you just go click and that's it.
Yeah, of course that's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, twofold on that. Do you personally, I know you have, set spots around town that you take couples to, but as advice to photographers in TWiP Pro, do you suggest they go out there and do their research and, instead of just saying, hey, let's go out to this barn, and let's do some shots out there? Or should they have gone out there several days before and sort of earmarked in their mind the different locations where they're going to shoot the couple?
Go out there several days before if your experience level requires that. Okay. For me, when I get to a location, I walk around with my phone and I check to see where the sun's going to be. This field looks amazing. We're going to do romantic scenics here. I already think, okay, I'm going to do these 3 poses. This is what I'm going to do. I want him isolated against the sky. He's going to pick her up, whatever. I already know what I'm going to do when I get there. Yeah. So it's the pre-planning that part that really helps. Okay. All right. And it's what sets your work. It's what sets your work apart from other people. Right, is like, if you can pre-plan and be prepared, chance favors the prepared mind. Your images are going to be that much better.
And like Boy Scouts, our motto is be prepared, right?
Yep.
And it also goes to alleviate the stress, because you're like, I already know what I'm going to do. I don't have to come up and be brilliant on the fly. I already know we're going over here, and I know how it's going to look. So
right.
All right, just a couple more. Wes Jordan Jr. said he had a little fun. Oh, cool. With the sunset and a mirror at a recent family shot, the object on the right is a corn silo. I like graphic shots like this. That baby,
yeah.
That baby just looks like, what the heck is going on, and what are you doing to me right now? That is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, these are so great, and I love the mirror. I love the reflection. I love the intention there. Mm-hmm. That's great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is one of those shots that, like we say, it could be big, right? I could see this one definitely being big. Yeah, in a series, no less, right? If you had a series of these with different sort of, and not that you want to, torture the kid by throwing it in the air for a series.
Oh, the kid probably loves it. Dad usually wears out in about 2 throws, so.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the back is gone. But cool. I don't have much to add about this shot. I dig it. I like it.
Yeah, my only suggestion to this shot is, when you're shooting this, try to get separation. Like, you can see the hand and the foot. There's a little bit of a shadow connection there. You can take that out in post. I think that it looks better when there's a little bit of separation. Because it shows the kids in the air, right? And so sometimes that's timing in camera. If that doesn't work, then just do it in post. Just clean that up a little bit. I think I would like it better. I think you may like it. So
okay. Cool. All right, he's got 2 more to go, I think. All right. Oh, this next one. What the heck is going on in this shot? This is from Peter Levshin, our friend that we love to talk about. He says, Sony, then tell me everything that you hate, including crappy model, but I guess you get what you pay for. Oh man, look at this guy in here. What is that, lava flow that you're in front of?
Yes. Let me just suggest that you don't lay on the lava. I'm going to
Isn't it sharp? I thought it was like very like serrated edges or something.
It is. It's like laying on a bed of nails. And when I got there, I realized getting up was going to be a lot harder than getting down.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you leave any DNA on that lava?
Probably. Yeah, probably a little bit.
That's cool. I love the shot because I can't tell what's going on. I can't tell if you're laying down or standing up and it was a wall of lava or what. It's
no, it's just on the ground. It's Pohohoi, so which is the big undulating smooth lava. It's just freaking beautiful there. And he was taking a picture of that big swirly thing. So I thought, well, I'm just going to lay there. By the time I laid down, I went, oh, this is not going to be comfortable. But it was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. This is more of a tourist shot, though, for sure. Right? I dig it.
Well, yeah, because if he was going to do it for, say, like an ad or a commercial shot for the guy, like he would have included his feet because, he has feet, so you should include his feet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. He cut off an appendage of the guy who hates to have photos with appendages cut off. Oh, man. Peter, what are you thinking?
Peter's not thinking.
Yeah, I know. When I see lava, especially because I think I've seen a couple shots before of Peter's of this lava, it just looks like brownies to me. It looks like cooked brownie for some reason. Very cool. All right, Peter Levshin, thank you for that. And apologies that you had to deal with that model.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's rough.
Last shot here, shot with the camera. Since you two know everything, tell me what you hate. Peter, we don't know everything. We just know what we don't like. I'm sorry. I like this shot though. This is killer. This is really cool.
I mean, it's like a bull, but
you're just mean. You're just a mean guy.
There's a shadow on your subject's right wrist. I mean, you could have fixed that. There's a bright spot off of his right elbow. You could fix that. There's a vertical line off your subject's left shoulder. You could have fixed that. And there's some noisy reflective thing over his behind his left head. I mean, come on. Like,
you
fix that
are
shit
so
before you
mean.
show us.
That's so harsh.
What is wrong with you?
Give me your camera back.
And like the guy's wearing glasses. Could we take his glasses off? That would be so much more authentic.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
I mean, if you're gonna take a model with you to China, like get one that looks authentic.
Peter, whatever he just said, I don't agree with any of it. I love this shot. This shot is awesome. I don't mind the reflections in the background. I don't even mind that the model, this person, not a model, has glasses on, because clearly anyone can wear glasses, Troy Miller. So, I don't think it makes it more or less authentic that the man is wearing glasses. They had glasses, a long time ago. But yeah, this is cool. I dig it. And I love the character in his face. I know Peter probably has some more shots of this guy that are closer up that show the sort of the weathered face, because this is definitely a character, sort of a character in a play almost. So.
Yeah, and I know the story behind this, so I do give him some grief, of course. But it was a photojournalistic shot. He's got some shots of this guy actually doing the what is it, kanji, or it's not calligraphy, but painting the characters and stuff. So it's it's very nice. But I don't want to say nice things to Peter.
I know. You guys have this sort of big brother little brother thing going on. That's cool, man. I think we made it through all of them. Thank you, Peter, for that shot. And apologies for the harsh nitpicking from my partner in crime here. So let me bring us back on camera here. So good shots this time around. Again, lots of them. I want to keep them coming. So TWiP Pro members, new and old, keep them coming in. Like I said in previous episodes, we're sort of ramping up I wanted to get through all the Black Friday madness and the holiday and all that stuff before we start kicking this stuff off. But Troy and I want to start doing these live in sort of a webinar format where you guys can watch us live and, chat on the side, and, we can do the screen sharing and the whole 9 yards. That'll just make the whole thing more social, and more of a community sort of effort than Troy and I standing on stage looking at images. I'd rather have it sort of, we're all in a crowd sort of talking about the images.
Right.
Yeah. So that's coming. Stay tuned for that. As if you've been with TWiP Pro from the beginning, you've seen the evolution of these things that we're doing. It's sort of, we start changing and we'll do it for a while and it'll get better and then better and better. So this going with the webinar format will be the latest iteration of trying to make things better. All right, Troy, I know you have to run, man. What, any final thoughts before we sign off here?
No, keep sending those images. And, I've been absent from the TWiP Pro community a little bit, but I'll be re-engaging here very soon. So I miss my TWiP Pro family and chatting with them.
I know, you're just spending all your time with that Nikon Z7.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man, go do what you got to do. Thank you for your time today. And TWiP Pro members, keep submitting, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Hey. All right. Peace. This is TWiP.